Earlier this year, I showed you how you can use the NexDock 2 with a compatible Samsung device to use a full PC-like interface. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you the next edition of that, which is the NexDock Touch. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech with Brett, where I help tech work for you. Now, as I already did a full in-depth video with the NexDock 2, I'm not going to go over all the little details. This is going to be more of an update video on the state of Samsung DeX and how it works with the new NexDock Touch. First, let's check out what is inside the box. So here you do get the NexDock Touch, and then you get a few different cables. So here you have USB-C to USB-C. This is how you will plug in your phone. You have a 1-foot HDMI cable, so you could use this to plug in a computer or something and use the NexDock as a monitor. Then here you have a USB-C to a USB-A and a micro USB splitter. This could be used to have input on your computer, or it could also be used for a Raspberry Pi. And then last here we have the charging brick. So this is going to charge up the NexDock, and you get a pretty long cable, and this is USB-C, and this is a 45-watt power delivery charger. You also get a few different plug heads, as well as a USB-C and micro USB cable, and a HDMI to micro HDMI. So if you need those, you have all of those options there, but today we'll just be using the one cable. Now let's talk about the actual NexDock Touch. So compared to the NexDock 2, there's not much that changed on the outside. And then over here on the side, you still have all the same options. So you have the micro SD card slot, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, a USB-A port. On the other side, you have HDMI, the USB-C charging port, you have a USB-C port, and a USB-C in. So this is where you're going to plug in your phone. Now really think of this as kind of like an all-in-one dock, as well as a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor built into one device. And here looking on the inside, we do have a bigger trackpad, pretty much have all of the same keys, and this little interesting notch here. At first I thought it was like a camera or something, but it is just the design of the device. And the biggest difference here is this actually has a touchscreen, so you'll be able to touch right here and interact with the Samsung DeX interface. Now, before we dive in on what's new, let's talk about what this device actually is. So this device by itself can't do anything. When you try and power it on, it just says waiting for a device to connect. So here it says NexDock is ready. So that means it's ready for you to plug in something. So you could use the HDMI port to plug in something to watch. So if you want to plug in your computer and use this as your monitor for your computer, you would be able to do that. If you want to plug in a Chromecast, you could watch your Chromecast on here. And so as how we're going to use this today is I'm going to be using my Samsung Galaxy Note 20, plugging it into the NexDock, and then it automatically opens up a Samsung DeX interface, which is more PC-like, so you can interact with your device in a whole different type of way other than just on the small phone. So one of the main reasons to get the NexDock is because you're already upgrading your phone every few years, and it's going to have a faster processor and everything instead of having to upgrade your laptop every year. You don't need to upgrade this if you have this. It's all going to be upgraded if you have a new phone that's faster. All that speed and everything is going to come through over on this. The only thing you may want to upgrade over time is if they come out with something with better speakers or a higher quality screen. But as of right now, this is a pretty cool device. So let's go ahead, stop talking, and show you how it works. Now let's just turn on the NexDock. Here you can see it says NexDock is ready to connect. So now all we need to do is plug in our phone, and we're going to use the USB-C cable right into the phone. And then we're going to plug this into the side over here, the USB-C in, and then automatically it will then put our phone over here in Samsung DeX mode. Now, if you only see the phone mirror to the screen, that either means your phone is not supported or you need to check your settings. So if we go into the settings of the phone and we go to connections, and then we're going to go down to more connections. And here we have the HDMI mode. So here I have Samsung DeX enabled. Yours might say screen mirroring, so you would just need to select Samsung DeX and then it should work. Again, if you don't see Samsung DeX, your phone is not supported. So I'm just gonna push home on my phone, and now we're gonna leave this here and we're gonna check out how this interface works. So this is now our phone, just in a different version here on the computer. So all of these apps are the same apps I have on my phone. Over here, I have an app tray, so I can see all my apps there. I have a recent apps here, and then here I have a home, and I have a back button. And here you can see apps I currently have open. Now, the biggest difference between this NexDock and the previous one is this now has a touchscreen. So if I want to just come up here and touch part of the screen, I am able to do that. And it's very natural to be using it this way. So instead of it being like a tablet or just a small phone screen, now you have the full capabilities of using this device as a touchscreen. So here you can see, as I do use it, the screen does wobble a bit, but I find it really handy if I'm browsing the web and I want to just quickly touch something instead of using the mouse here. It is very easy to do. Now that leads me to my next point. One of the main problems I had with my NexDock 2 is the touchpad. I was having issues where when I would type, it would automatically touch something and erase the whole thing that I would type because of the sensitivity of the touchpad. Now, using this, I have not experienced that like I did on the NexDock 2, maybe 1 or 2 times, but it was happening a lot more previously. So I haven't had that happen here, and I'm pretty confident in using this. So today I'm not even going to plug in a mouse. If you wanted to use a mouse, you could either Bluetooth it to your phone, or you could plug it in the USB slot over here on the side, and then you could use the mouse to control it. But with the touchscreen and just how much better this new touchpad works, I don't feel like I do need to do that. Let's go ahead and do a typing test. Now during that, you could see my mouse was moving around a tiny bit, but I never had the issue where it all of a sudden clicked and dragged across the screen and I typed another letter and it deleted everything. Now I can say that that's definitely improved from the previous generation of this, and typing on it actually works really great. Now with the touchpad, sometimes it does make some interesting sounds, but it does a pretty good job. So you have a left click, and then you do have a right click where you can click on different things. Let's say we want to open up an app. Here we double click and we have our app open just like that. And we can click and drag, and even has multi-touch. So I can click with one finger and then drag with the other finger, and that works really well. Now, one thing with the new DeX interface is I can just drag it over here to the side, and then it's gonna go into full screen mode. And over here, it's going to pop up other apps I already have open. So here it's giving me the option to click on Stadia. And right there, the touchpad did get stuck. So I just had to push it again to get it up again. That may be one reason you want to use a mouse. But other than that, I've had a good experience with the touchpad. Now that leads me to the next thing I tested out on the NexDock 2, which was playing Google Stadia. I had to go to Google Chrome, go to the Stadia website, and then I was able to play it. But now you are actually able to just pair your remote right to your phone, and you can play Stadia right here on the big screen. So let's try it out. Now I do still need to navigate through Stadia here, but I can use the touchscreen now. So it's nice that I can easily go through and find different games to play. Let's say we want to play Kine. Here we can jump right in. And this screen is 1080p. It would be nice if it was maybe a 1440 resolution, but so far the quality is looking really great, has really bright and vibrant colors. And here, let's check our brightness levels. So that was at 100%. Here we are at 0%, so it gets very dim. And then let's jump back up to 100. All right, that's getting pretty loud. Let's turn that down. Now for the volume, you do have the controls here of your volume, but then you also have the NexDock volume controls. So here I can increase the volume. So this is 100%. This is as loud as the volume can go. And then we can turn it down. Now I wish it did have a little bit better sound quality. There are 4 1-watt speakers in here, and it does get pretty loud, but I would like to see an increase in the sound quality there. So let's go ahead, play a little bit more, and see if I can pass this level. I did it. I passed the level. So there you go. Stadia now works without the need to go to Chrome. You can just use the Stadia app, which is great. Now, most of the time when using the NexDock, I'm going to be using the apps here on the Samsung DeX interface. I can go here and I have all the apps. Now, many of the apps still open in a small box, but they do resize where you can have them bigger. Like let's say we go here into Sky Map. So here it's just a small version of the app. You can go into what is called DeX Labs. So if I go here into settings, go to DeX Labs, I have the option to force apps to resize. So once that is enabled, now I can go to this app, I can click this, and then I'm able to see it full screen. And so here I can use this app to move my phone around or whatever. But that's nice that you now have your apps that can go full screen. But sometimes you don't want to use an app. It's just easier to use the desktop web interface. So now if we go to Google Chrome, one of the biggest improvements here is we now have tab support. So when I was doing my last review, I tried so many different browsers, which the Samsung Internet browser actually has tabs, which worked great. And now Chrome does have tabs up here. So you can see that I can easily jump between the different tabs and I can click on them and close them down. And it just works really well. It's nice to have them all here. Before it was a kind of complicated interface to change the tab that you were on. So now Google Chrome works. Again, that's not really a NexDock thing. That's just a Samsung DeX interface, which it's great to see the improvements there. All right, here on nextdock.com, you can see that it's showing the full web interface. It's not showing like a modified mobile version. You have the full web here. Now, there are some things that you can't do that you might do on the full desktop Chrome interface, but for the most part, this is a much better experience than trying to browse the internet over on your phone. Now with the touchpad, I can use 2 fingers and scroll down here. You can check out some of the different specs and other products they sell. Here, let's go into the tech specs of the device. You can see it is a 1920 by 1080 screen, 16 by 9 aspect ratio. Now I did want to show it has an 8,000 milliamp hour battery life. So I've actually been using this for a long time. I don't use it a ton, but here I'm at 34%. And so you do get a good amount of usage with the big battery that's inside, and it is charging my phone at the same time. So it's keeping my phone charged up and I'm able to use the device. And here, going to techwithbrett.com, everything works great. If I do need to adjust a website, I can select the menu and I can select desktop site, and then it's going to make sure it forces the web browser to pull down the desktop site so that you do have the more desktop appropriate web page. So that is using Chrome on Samsung DeX. Next, let's look at some of the settings. So here you can see our display. We are currently at 1920 by 1080 resolution. Down here, we have the play sound on connected display. So if you're playing sound and it's only coming through your phone, you just come here, check that, and then the audio is going to come through the NexDock here. And you have a few other options where you can see the different keyboard shortcuts. You do have an option where you can use your phone to have the keyboard on there. And so if while you're using the NexDock, your phone keeps turning on, you just want to come in here and turn that off, and then you're not going to have that issue. Now, one of the other main things I want to use Samsung DeX for is being able to edit videos. Instead of using my small phone, I could simply come in here and I could edit a video. So let's go ahead and try out Rush. Now, so far, Samsung has said that they worked with Adobe to make something like this work great, but it has not worked perfectly for me. So let's go ahead and let's look at one of these videos I've been trying to edit and see if I'm able to edit here. So if I push the play. Oh, look at that. So then if I want to adjust any of these, I can click and drag, and I can click over here. Wow, this is actually working. It has not worked ever. So if you do want to edit a movie, you would be able to come in here on Samsung DeX, and you can now edit a movie. So the app is not showing any video, so maybe it's because I don't have the video on my phone anymore. I'm not really sure. Let's go ahead and try one more. It looks like Adobe Rush is working much better than I've ever seen it before, so it might be possible I could edit something on here, but for the most part, I'm usually just gonna head to my desktop to edit any videos, but you do have a much bigger screen here than trying to edit this on your phone. Right now, it's just not showing some of my files. That could be because I deleted them. I'm not exactly sure why, but I've never had Adobe Rush stay open this long in Samsung DeX. It's almost possible to edit on here, but so far, not something that I would do. Now, one other thing I use my phone for a lot is writing. Now, somebody's gonna ask, so I'm just gonna say it. You can't use your S Pen on this screen. Even though it's touchscreen, it's not a S Pen supported touchscreen. But if I do want to draw, I am able to do that easily. With my finger here, I can use Samsung Notes, and I could write out a note with my finger, or if I got a different stylus, I would be able to use that as well. Now, another device that you could compare the NexDock and the phone with Samsung DeX to is a Chromebook. Here I have my Pixelbook Go. It actually costs a lot more than something like this, but with that, you do get some better quality speakers, a better quality touchpad, and overall, it does a good job. But it is missing some things. It's missing that dedicated internet connection that you get when you're using your phone with the NexDock. When using the Chromebook, you would have to transfer files from your phone to the Chromebook or back up your phone somewhere to download those files to the Chromebook, where here everything is already there. You would plug in your phone, you can instantly open your gallery, all of your different pictures and movies are there. You could use them and edit them or share them right from this device, no transferring needed. Now, Chromebooks do get updates and they do last quite a while, but if anything does happen to your device, you would have to get a brand new one. And then over here, if things aren't working properly, all you need to do is upgrade your phone, which you're most likely going to do because it wouldn't be working well either. And once you upgrade the phone, all you need to do is plug it into the NexDock. It now has a faster processor, faster speeds, all because your phone has been upgraded. You could keep this device for as long as it's working without the need to keep upgrading it. Now I want to show you how you can use the NexDock with a computer that you already have. So I'm using the USB-C cable to plug into my laptop over here, and I'm mirroring the display. You could extend the display, but I want to show that I have the mouse controls here on the NexDock. It's showing up over there on the computer, and then I even have the touchscreen controls. So they are, Windows kind of touchscreen controls, but there you can see those do work. Now, if your computer doesn't have USB-C, you can use that USB-C splitter to USB to work. So let me show you. If I plug it into the USB-C option there, and let me just unplug this other USB-C. So now with the USB-C over here and the USB-A in my computer, if the NexDock is on, I now have controls of the mouse and the keyboard. So now that I have the controls from my USB-C to USB-A, I also plugged in an HDMI from my computer. So it's not over the USB-C from the computer, and you can see that I can control my computer. And then I also have the touchscreen option as well without being plugged in directly over USB-C. So if you have a computer and you need to have a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse, and you don't want to buy all three of those things, you would be able to use the NexDock to interact with your computer just like this. So you do need to have those two connections, but then you're good to go. And so this is actually a pretty cool way where you don't have to go and spend $200 on a monitor and then a keyboard and a mouse. You have all of that right here in one device. And so that is the NexDock Touch. This is definitely my favorite all-in-one Samsung DeX device. It's so cool that I have a portable screen, I have a keyboard, and I have the trackpad all built in. I don't need to collect a bunch of different devices to get the Samsung DeX interface. Everything is right here. I just need to make sure I have my phone and my cable, and I'm good to go. A few questions I've got on the last one is, will it support Samsung DeX wireless? So this is how you can use Samsung DeX completely wireless without the cable, and it cannot support that. And the reason why is because, again, there's no internal software in the device. Over on my Samsung TV, it's smart and it has that DeX wireless support, but here with the NexDock, it doesn't have any of that. So you will be required to use your cable to display this over on the NexDock. So if you have any further questions about getting the NexDock, you can check out the link in the description below where you can learn about pre-ordering and when the next drop of devices will be. And if you want to see my other video about the NexDock 2, you can check out more details about how Samsung DeX works over there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.